distinguished guests, respected dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, Vanakkam, and a very good morning. I deem it an honor to be your host for today's inaugural function of the World Ocean Science Congress WOSC 2024. On behalf of the National Institute of Ocean Technology, Indian Institute of Technology Madras, and the Vijnana Bharati, I extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Requesting Dr. G.A. Ramadas, Director, National Institute of Ocean Technology, to come onto the dais and welcome our honored dignitaries onto the dais. Dr. Ranjit Rath, Chairman and Managing Director of Oil India Limited, and the chief guest of today's program. Please, sir. Professor Raghunathan Rangaswamy, Director in Charge, IIT Madras. Dr. Anandavali N., Director of CSIR Structural Engineering Research Center, Chennai. Dr. Satish Chandra Shenoy, Vice President of Vijnana Bharati. And Sri P.A. Vivekananda Pai, National Secretary of Vibha. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Requesting one and all to kindly rise for the Tamil Thai and our national song. Kindly be seated. It is customary to start any program with the lighting of a lamp to express a respect for knowledge that only uplifts us like a flame. On this special occasion, our dignitaries on the dais are requested to kindly light the lamp. Thank you. Thank you. The World Ocean Science Congress, WOSC 2024, provides a unique platform for various stakeholders of the ocean, ranging from defense and navy to academicians and researchers, to express and exchange ideas and perspectives. The National Institute of Ocean Technology, an autonomous institute under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, the Indian Institute of Technology Madras, and the National Science Oriented Movement Vijnana Bharati or VIBHA are hosting WOSC 2024 with the focal theme of sustainable utilization of oceans in blue economy. Dr. G.A. Ramadas is an expert in the areas of deep sea technology, manned and unmanned underwater vehicles, underwater acoustics, and marine instruments. With over 2 decades of experience in this field, he now serves as the director of NIOT and is coordinating the development of India's first manned scientific submersible, Matsya 6000. Requesting Dr. Ramadas to deliver the welcome address. Please, sir.
Respected Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. Ranjit Rath, CMD Oil India Limited, Guest of Honor, Dr. Anandavalli, Director, CSIR SERC, Professor Raghunath Rangaswamy, Director in Charge, IIT Madras, Dr. Shati Senoy, former Director of NIOT and INCOIS and National Vice President of Vijnana Bharati, Sri Vivekananda Pai, Secretary, Vijnana Bharati, Dr. Kiran Kumar, former Chairman, ISRO, will be joining us shortly. Invitees, participants, delegates, students, colleagues from NIOT and other institutes of Ministry of Earth Sciences, IIT, Vijnana Bharati, friends from the media, and ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and warm welcome to the third edition of World Ocean Science Congress 2024, jointly organized by NIOT, IIT, and VIBHA. India has a long coastline and a very large exclusive economic zone. And if you add extended EEZ also, and if you add the seabed area given by the United Nations to India, our sea area is comparable to our land area. And this is a treasure trove of many living and non-living resources. And this can contribute immensely for the blue economy and even to the GDP of India. Government of India, realizing the importance of oceans, established Department of Ocean Development in 1981, and later it became Ministry of Earth Sciences. And there are several institutes, 5 autonomous organizations and 5 attached bodies under Ministry of Earth Sciences, taking care of activities belonging to all spheres of all 5 spheres of the Earth. And India's ocean policy statement was prepared way back in 90s, and a draft paper uh, was prepared on the blue economy by the Economic Advisor Committee for the Prime Minister, and it is ready for unveiling. And in 2021 September, a mission called Deep Ocean Mission was announced by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, with 6 verticals and with a budget of 4,000 crores, that is approximately 500 million US dollars, spanning 5 years, was announced. It has 6 verticals covering almost all the aspects of the ocean. And in one of them is actually the famous Samudrayan mission now, in which we are going to send 3 aquanauts to a depth of 6,000 meters water depth. In this context, this World Ocean Science Congress, that is WOSC 24, is an effort to bring all the stakeholders, contributors, and the public on one platform uh, for the understanding of blue economy. And earlier editions of this WOSC 24, which were held in Cochin in 2015 and Vishakhapatnam in 2019, paved way for the planning and execution of the present one. The main theme of the today's WOSC 24 is chosen as sustainable utilization of oceans in the blue economy. What differentiates blue economy from normal blue commerce is the sustainability. That's why this theme was very carefully chosen. It has 10 sub themes and attracted nearly 400 abstracts and the posters from various institutions and researchers. There are total number of 28 sessions are there. There are many parallel sessions, and there are some associated events like Ocean Summit, in which the bureaucrats from the coastal states uh, and even from the international uh, uh, fora also people have joined us. And there is a special fishermen's meet, and there is a early career ocean professionals meet also is planned, and there is a plenary discussion by eminent personalities is slated for the last day. And there is an exhibition in which all the R&D organizations and industry are showcasing their products and their services. And there are cultural events today night. And there is a special center session by uh, Maritime Research Center tomorrow. And there are prizes for the best paper and posters to encourage the young researchers below the age of 40, I believe. And no stone is left unturned by all of us to make WOSC 24 a success and providing maximum comfort to all the participants. May you all have a pleasant and productive WOSC 24. Thank you all for gracing the occasion and joining our efforts in bringing ocean close to the nation. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Satish Chandra Shenoy, Vice President of Vijnana Bharati and former Director of the Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, or INCOIS, has 3 decades of experience in the field of marine science and its management. He has contributed to the development of an ocean state forecasting system and played a key role in the Arabian Sea monsoon experiment. I request Dr. Satish Shenoy to present the introductory remarks.
Very good morning to all of you. Dr. Ranjit Rath, the chief guest of today's function and the CMD of Oil India Limited. Professor Raghunath Rangaswamy, Director in Charge, IIT Chennai, Dr. Anandavalli, Director, CSAR, SERC, Dr. Ramdas, Director, NIOT, Sri Vivekji, General Secretary of VIBA, and the dignitaries of the dais. I can see Dr. Tamban, Director NCPOR, Vice Admiral Musa, and many I can't take the name, but or I don't know the name, but I am seeing several dignitaries of the dais and the other office bearers of VIBA or Vijnan Bharati, Sri Praveendji, General Secretary of VIBA, Vivaswanji, and Abgaji and others, students and other participants and the invitees. A very good morning to all of you for joining us for today's function. Vijnan Bharati is the largest science movement in Bharat, aims to interlink traditional and modern science to arrive at solutions for the critical challenges faced by our nation. Vijnan Bharati believes that the rapid developments in science and technology only can provide the solutions to meet the emerging challenges by our country. Vijnan Bharati also believes that the challenges and problems faced by our country are unique and their solutions can come only through the integrated approach to the ancient and modern science and technology. It's a matter of pride for all of us that our culture, our traditions, our social practices were highly scientific minded and science based since thousands of years, and we always welcomed the knowledge from any corner of the world. Unfortunately, we lost that scientific tempo due to the repeated foreign invasions and onslaughts on our country and our culture and our universities and knowledge centers. But still, we held those practices, but not knowing the underlying scientific principles of those practices. And survival and protection of society became the preoccupation, and the scientific tempo gave way to blind beliefs. So, many of our traditions we consider as it is just blind beliefs because we don't know the scientific principles underlying that. It is imperative that we have to regain that scientific tempo, which made our country the most sought after for knowledge, commerce, and manufacturing. We should ensure that science leads to innovative technologies which will make the lives easy not only for the humankind but also for the entire environment and all forms of lives and resources on this earth. So, Vijnan Bharati conducts four major international conferences at grand scale involving researchers, academics, industry, grassroots innovators, students, and general public who are interested in science and technology. They are World Ayurveda Congress, Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan, India International Science Festival, and the World Ocean Science Congress. VIBA also conducts workshops and symposia targeting specific topics. A natural question arises is that why there is a separate congress for ocean science when there are other two grand conferences encompassing all branches of science. There are a couple of reasons for that. First, our country has great maritime history and tradition in all walks of life. Currently, we are connected to the oceans. Uh, Culturally, we are connected to the oceans one way or other. To the coastal areas and seas around us are important for the from the point of view of culture, commerce, trade, transportation, and recreation and safety of the country itself. And the third, the one fifth of our population lives within 10 kilometers of the stretch of the coastal zone, and their lives are deeply connected with the oceans. About 4 million fishermen belonging to fishermen community lives on the coast in highly improvised conditions with great exposure to natural calamities along the long coastline of about 8,000 kilometers. Considering all these factors, VIBA decided to organize the World Ocean Science Congress every 4 years. The first World Ocean Science Congress was organized and conducted in Kochi in 2015, and the second one was conducted in Andhra University in Visakhapatnam in 2019, and this is the third in that series with the theme that sustainable utilization of oceans in blue economy. The theme of the Congress is selected carefully to reflect on the two major contemporary issues. That is, one is sustainability and the blue economy. This is meaningful because several countries are aggressively promoting the blue economy to enhance their national economy. And our country also is gearing towards the blue economy, uh, which includes industries, shipping, trade, ocean science and technology, oil and gas industries, etc. While promoting the blue economy, it is equally essential to ensure the sustainability and protection of ocean environment. It is bounden duty of every stakeholder, including the governance and policymakers, to ensure that while we push for the blue economy, we don't lose the focus on the sustainability of the ocean, the life in the ocean, and the ocean environment. In addition, this is the decade of ocean. UN has identified 2021 to 2030 as uh, ocean decade of ocean science, emphasizing on the sustainability of the oceans, and we had to study the oceans properly to take proper actions. And 10 sub themes are further selected to align with the different aspects of the ocean, focusing the main theme. Accordingly, this conference will have 10 sub themes with several parallel sessions. I think it is about 28 sessions we'll have. In addition to that, we will have the plenary lectures by the scientists and technocrats. Following this inaugural function, we will have the plenary lecture by Dr. A.S. Kiran Kumar, former chairman of ISRO, and the Vice Chancellor of Maritime University. Similarly, tomorrow also we'll have plenary lectures, and day after tomorrow also we'll have two more plenary lectures. Uh, there will be a ocean summit for which we have invited the representatives from other countries, and I'm glad that um, delegations from Angola, Bangladesh, etc., are already here. I hope more may join by tomorrow. And there is a early career ocean professionals meet as well, and of course panel discussions, exhibition, and other activities are the specifics of this congress. So exhibition will showcase the advances in technology in different um, domains related to ocean, including ocean exploration, resources, observations, and maritime history of India. So I request all of you to go through those exhibitions and see all this yourself, the kind of developments which are happening in this country. So this OS is being organized by National Institute of Ocean Technology, Chennai, and IIT Madras, together with Vijnan Bharati, um, and of course, Ministry of Earth Science, the Secretary, Dr. Rivichandran. Unfortunately, he has some personal issue today, so he is unable to join us on this dais. Otherwise, definitely he would have been here. But he has supported us generously and guided us in organizing this conference. But of course, he will join us tomorrow and lead the Ocean Summit. Then we will have the validatory function on 29th afternoon with a panel discussion by three eminent scientists or technocrats led by Dr. V.K. Saraswat, member Niti Ayog. He will chair that panel discussion. And Dr. Shailesh Naik, who was the former secretary of MOES, and Dr. P.S. Goyal, who also was um, former secretary of MOES, will be the panelists in that panel discussion. And also Minister for Fisheries, Sri L. Murugan, has agreed to deliver the valedictory address on that day. I hope this is going to be a very fruitful conference, and I'm sure that the deliberations will lead us to uh, make at least some framework on the sustainability and what are the pits and falls um, when we move towards aggressively move towards blue economy. With this brief introduction, let me conclude here. Vande Madaram, Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. N. Anandavalli, Director and Chief Scientist at the CSIR Structural Engineering Research Center, has scientific interests in the areas of structural dynamics, shock resistant structures, computational methods, and multi scale modeling. She has received several accolades and has also been nominated by the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu as one of the Senate members of Bharatidasan University, Trichy, since August 2019. Requesting Dr. Anandavalli, our guest of honor, to address the gathering.
Dr. Ranjit Rath, CMD Oil India Limited, Professor Raghunath Rangaswamy, Director in Charge IIT, Dr. Satish Chandra Shenoy, Vice President Vijnana Bharati, Dr. Ramadas, Director NIOT, Dr. Vivekananda Bai, National Secretary Vijnana Bharati. Participants, ladies and gentlemen, Vanakkam and Namaskar. I'm happy and honored to be part of this inaugural program of the Third World Ocean Science Congress, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. So, first, coming to the title theme uh, on the sustainable utilization of oceans and blue economy, that is very much need of the hour. And as we all know, the planet is made out of the five basic elements, namely what we call as Panchaputas: space, air, fire, water, and earth. So, நிலம் தீ நீர் வழி விசும்போடு ஐந்தும் கலந்த மயக்கம் உலகம். This is a poem from Tolkappiyam, which is written, that is the first uh, for grammar, that is the first one where this particular saying goes this way. So, and also we are part of this universe, and even our human body is made out of all the five elements. So, நிலம் நீர் நெருப்பு காற்றோடு விசும்பாம் உலகத்தில் பூதம் ஐந்தால் எடுத்திட்ட உடம்பாம். So, first one, if you see, it is the first one to form is the sky, which is basically represents the vibration, and uh, it is towards hearing. The second one, the space is there, then forms the air. So it represents the vibration or the movement. To say the second one represents the movement because of the vibration, and the touch or the forces and the movement is the thing which we have to see on the second element, air. So vibration is felt through the movement, how we can feel the vibration. If there is no air, we cannot feel the vibration. Third one is to form is the fire, which the sky and the air promotes it, and it represents the energy. And vision is the thing associated with that. If I come to the fourth one, it is water, which is due to fire, air, and densifies to result in water. So the particular quality of water is that it is the first element that we can physically see, touch it. So the uh, it represents also protection. So we water is always for healing. So, and it is also the base for all activities. The final, the fifth one is earth, which is evolves out of the four elements. So, contains the essence of all the other four elements. So, even when I recall the Valluvar's நீரின்றி அமையாத உலகு எனின் யார் யார்க்கும் வானின்றி அமையாத ஒழுக்கு. So, Valluvar, before 2000 years ago, he has told, நீரின்றி அமையாத உலகு, water is the base of all activities. So, and all we all know that water is three-fourths of the planet is water, and it is in the form of ocean, sea, etc. So, and coming to the discipline which studies this ocean, why we have to study the ocean. So it is a multidisciplinary area. It encompasses physical, biological, chemical, and geological oceanography, and also marine pollution. And we also have to have various topics like marine life, ecosystem, ocean circulation, plate tectonics, and geology, and chemical and physical properties. All this is required so that we can save the earth, mother earth, as well as we can utilize this ocean for our own purposes without disturbing the ecological system. And we need the technologies also towards that. One is the vessels and submersibles. We need sensors, communication technology, and other areas where scientifically we have to examine, record, and analyze the mysteries of the ocean. And all these starts with the first step of observation of the uh, ocean. So the to understand this, the mechanics and other things we need, and also for communication we need sensors and equipments. And it is high time this we have to start working on indigenous technologies. And also to understand the uh, if you come to the sensors, there are a lot of challenges because under the marine environment there are a lot of challenges that has to be addressed. And the biotechnology, ocean electronics, and coming to the current need, renewable energy sources. We all talk about the renewable energy sources, and the ocean has got a wide variety of that, coming to wave, tidal, and ocean thermal energy, or offshore wind and solar. These are various areas where we can contribute and work together. And desalination, this is another area to address the challenges of water requirement. So coming to CSIR, from where I come, where we have a theme called E3OW, which works on ecology, environment, earth, and ocean sciences and water. So there are labs which particularly work on ocean, like NIO, National Institute of Oceanography. And coming to minerals, IMMT is working. NEERI on the environmental aspects, and CSMCRI on the salt and marine. These are various laboratories which work on different aspects of ocean. And I'm coming from Structural Engineering Research Center. I'm next door to your this institute, IIT, which where we work on the offshore renewable energy for offshore platforms to support the renewable energy, offshore wind or offshore solar panels. How to support this on the offshore, onshore or inland has got a different kind of perspective. You have to see, if you go to the offshore, there are a lot of challenges that has to be addressed. And right now this technology is being imported, and we work on the how to indigenize this technology right from the design aspects. We have developed the know-how and the skill for this. And as we all know that our coastline is around 7,500 kilometers, and in MNRE has brought short-term installation target of 5 gigawatt of offshore wind capacity, and also long-term installation of 30 gigawatt. This is the aspiration of the country, and towards this, we need to be built in the deep sea and where the speeds are moved. And as of now, these technologies are mostly associated with MNCs. And to address this, we are working on the engineering of floating offshore structures for renewable energy systems, namely wind and solar. And various aspects like coming this is a multidisciplinary area, and not only we work on how the floating offshore can be designed, but also how to control strategies how in case of extreme weathers and extreme thing. So we started with the 5 megawatt NREL benchmark problem of wind turbine, and continue to do numerical simulation lab scale studies, and also including the wave load effect along with the environmental effects. These are some of the, and also for the stability and control aspects, we are we were trying to do it with the tuned mass dampers. And also the another aspect is fatigue, where ACRC has contributed. We have got a fatigue and fracture laboratory, and many of the pipelines under the ocean which is subjected to repeated loads. We have done a lot of experimental studies as well as theoretical formulations to address the needs of the industry as well. And these are some of the areas which ACRC is working. And I feel this particular uh, Congress will be having more interactions on various, as the earlier speaker was highlighting, there are 10 different themes, and around 400 papers where they are being presented. And it is a great experience and a lot of interactions for the unfruitful discussion to the betterment of our nation will happen, I believe. And I wish this success for the Congress. And I would like to conclude with a Tirukural which goes this way: Pagutundu Palluir Ombudal Nulo Tohutavuttul Ellam Tale, which means the biodiversity which we talked today, 2000 years ago, Palluvar is telling we have to live along with the other living beings in essentially it is biodiversity which he explains. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Professor Raghunathan Rangaswamy, Director in charge of the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, is a professor at the Department of Chemical Engineering here. His research interests lie in the areas of fault detection and diagnosis and algorithms for them, development of sensor placement, and fuel cells. He has been instrumental in the formation of the startup at the US, SysEng LLC, and has also co founded Gyan Data Private Limited, located in the IIT Madras Research Park. Requesting Professor Raghunathan Rangaswamy to deliver the presidential address.
Uh, Thank you, everybody. I'm here because Professor Kamakoti got called on some important meetings in Delhi. I am the Dean for Global Engagement at IIT Madras, and I also today the Director in charge. Want to welcome everyone on the stage for supporting this conference and everyone who has come out in good numbers here to the conference. So I just want to very quickly talk about IIT Madras, then the Office of Global Engagement a little bit, and then I'll talk about this conference in that order. For people who are coming first time to IIT Madras, warm welcome. IIT Madras is a 645-acre fantastic wooded campus. We co-live with monkeys, and right now it looks like IIT Madras is the place to be. We have peacocks also moving into the campus, I hear. Um, we have a student body of about 10,000 students. And the thing that I want to highlight about this is that traditionally IITs were started to really impart undergrad education so that engineers come out and then work for the betterment of the country. And while that's happening, in the last 2 decades, I would say there is a very big shift in terms of how view ourselves. IITs have moved to be a largely research universities. Just to give you an idea, we have about 10,000 students, as I said. 3,000 of those are undergraduates. 3,000 of those are PhD students, and 4,000 are master students of various types. So that tells you that we have about 650 faculty. So we have about 5 PhD students per faculty, which is a very robust number internationally. I just wanted to give you this idea of where we are at IIT Madras. And because of our research ambitions, because of how we view our place in the national scientific community, we are also looking at starting large research centers. We funded about 15 uh, Institute of Eminence centers of excellence, where we are betting that these 15 centers should be the top 5 in the world in another 5 to 10 years. So that's the kind of ambition that we have here at IIT Madras. And I'm very happy to note that one of the centers is a maritime center. And when we reviewed these centers, I saw the scope and scale of work that is being done here at IIT Madras. So it's very pleasing to see that activities there are part of conferences like this and so on. So that's to give you a snapshot of where IIT Madras is currently. In terms of our own office, we are also looking at internationalizing IIT Madras. Internationalization was not a priority for IITs for a long time because, IITs, there is a lot more demand than supply. So the question is, when you can't give enough number of seats to your own countrymen, why go outside? But I don't want to get into that debate. It's a long debate, but it's now very clear that internationalization is a very important aspect. Cultural melting pots give you the best innovation environment and so on. So as a part of that, at IIT Madras, we have MOUs with about 300 universities worldwide. We run about 19 joint doctoral programs. We have mobility funds for our faculty to go abroad, students from abroad to come to IIT Madras and so on. So we have a very vibrant international a community that is building within IIT Madras. And hopefully, as we go forward, we will also have a vibrant international community as part of our faculty community. We are hoping to get 5 to 10% of our faculty to be international faculty. When that happens, I think there will be a real change in terms of the quality of ideas and the discussions and so on. So that's a little bit about the Office of Global Engagement. Now, coming to this conference, the only connection I have to ocean is that I worked on fuel cell systems, which form the backup power for submarines. This is work that I did with Naval Materials Research Lab. So that's as far as I understand about ocean engineering. There are much better people here to talk to you about ocean engineering. But when I just saw the scope of this conference, coastal infrastructure, tourism in coastal states and islands, offshore and coastal fisheries, marine biotechnology, warming of ocean, sea level rise, marine pollution, oceanic hazards and mitigation, looks like you're covering about everything that is possible, and which is really wonderful. And I think one of the most important things when we look at in not only this conference, any conference, whether we are looking at a conference on energy, we are looking at a conference on data science and AI, we are looking at a sports conference, everywhere the notion of sustainability, doing things sustainably, is becoming more and more critical. And I'm incredibly pleased to know that sustainability is front and center of all of these blue economy activities, as it should be. Um, Unmitigated exploitation of natural resources is a problem, and we all understand it. And there was no price to pay. At least we thought there was no price to pay for a long time. But now it's very clear that there is a price to pay. So it's very important to look at how we develop technology, how we engage with natural systems, keeping in mind that we have to leave a better world for our children. So that's an important aspect, and I'm very happy that that's a very important part of this conference. And finally, I just want to shout out to our ocean engineering department, which is doing fantastic work. We have a ocean basin in our Tayur campus. If you have the time, you should go and visit us. And it's one of our starter departments where work is done in terms of consultancy, nation building, and so on. And I see this conference being co-organized by IIT Madras with NIOT. as a very nice step in a forward direction. So with that, I'll stop my address and thank you once again for making time to come to this conference. And I hope you have a fantastic time exploring uh, not only research park, the conference, but also the campus. Thank you very much. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Our chief guest for today, Dr. Ranjit Rath, Chairman and Managing Director of Oil India Limited, is a recipient of the prestigious National Geosciences Award from the Honorable President of India. He has over 25 years of experience in the field of geosciences and has held top positions in the Mineral Exploration and Consultancy Limited, Khanij Bidesh India Limited, Bharat Gold Mines Limited, and the Geological Survey of India. He has played crucial roles in formulating strategies, business development, and even exploration of prospects in application of geology and geosciences in various important projects. We now request Dr. Ranjit Rath to address the gathering, sir.
Thank you for that gracious introduction. A warm good morning to each one of you. On the dais, I was sharing the dais, and it's a privilege and a honor to share the dais with Dr. Ramdos, Director NIOT. We have Dr. Senoy, the former Director in COIS, and currently he is leading Vigyan Bharati. Dr. Anand Bali, Director SCRC CSIR Lab, Professor Rengaswamy, the Director in charge of IIT Chennai or IIT Madras, and Sri Pai, who is the National Secretary of Vigyan Bharati, the distinguished guests of the dais, students, ladies and gentlemen, and my media friends. It gives me immense pleasure to talk about something which is very close to our heart. When we talk about the World Ocean Science Congress, and when I see the portfolio of topics that we plan to discuss on the third edition, I'm sure the first edition in Cochin and second edition in Vizag must have been those baby steps. But given the importance of ocean today, this conference is going to be a game changer. That's what I believe. With the line of discussions, with the line of programs, with the specific directions, and the distinguished personalities who are going to attend and address this program or this conference is going to not only enlighten us, but also will create a new vista. With this thought process, let me share my thoughts about the ocean resources that we have as part of the Indian subcontinent. We have about 7,500 kilometers of maritime boundary that we call our coastline, which is not only blessed with beautiful harbors or ports, waterways, not only blessed with the placer minerals, which is so crucial for our economy in terms of both atomic minerals or the industrial minerals, the bountiful resources of fisheries that we consume or that are the economic backbone of our fishery community. The very, very important point here is sustainable harvesting of these resource pool. I see presence of Indian Navy as part of this conference. It reaffirms the importance of maritime protection. And while we talk about all this, I would like to add the significant addition of the hydrocarbon resource pool as part of the ocean resources. It was late 1960s or early 70s, we have discovered Bombay High, that is an offshore field which is still producing. And only recently we have celebrated the 50th year of production of crude oil and natural gas, which is the backbone of any economy and for Indian economy as well. And that's ocean resources. Following that, while the production and exploration is going on in that part of the ocean coast or the self areas during the recent path-breaking reforms of Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Government of India, we have unlocked about 1 million square kilometer of area in the coast of East Coast and West Coast and Andaman Nicobar Basin for the purpose of exploration and production. As we speak, the open acreage licensing policy, which creates a vista for exploration of these resources, which is yet to find resources. And in terms of a resources, I must share with you, India is blessed with or prognosticated resources is about 42 billion metric ton of oil and oil equivalent, out of which we assume about 50 to 60% of resources is yet to find from an oil and gas perspective, which is located in the shallow waters, deep and ultra deep waters. When we say shallow waters, it's about 400-meter water depth. 1500-meter water depth is something called a deep water, and beyond 1500 water depth is something called ultra deep water. The science is extremely challenging, but as we say, and when we talk about in IIT campus, all the challenges are opportunities for us. And when I'm addressing to the students, we see a vista of opportunity in ocean science. So, be it monitoring the global environmental systems in terms of the rainfall, the weather, the climate, and associated with it, the cyclones or the storms. That makes more resilient to us because we now understand, and I'm having the presence of, we are having the presence of the leadership of inquires, which was set up to monitor this. Now, when we do all this, we understand the ocean more critically and more meaningfully. Further to this is another interesting facet from a student's point of view, and as the director in charge of IIT Chennai or IIT Madras nicely put, and I must compliment the Ocean Engineering Department of IIT Chennai is doing a phenomenal amount of work. They are not only predicting or creating the structural dimension for hydrocarbon exploration and production per se, they're also doing meaningful work in harnessing the resources or the energy resources we call as alternate energy. In our address, directors SERC has also highlighted that there is tremendous potential in terms of offshore wind energy. So all those old platforms which are used or were used once upon a time to produce crude oil are today being conceived to be converted as a platform for harnessing wind energy. And that's also part of ocean. And I must also share with you, this is something which happens, and this is not happening today. It is long ago, and we are very glad to note that tomorrow Dr. Sales Naik will be here amongst us, who crafted the concept of monitoring fisheries and giving prior announcement to the fishing communities in off the coast of Gujarat, so that the fishing community will go and fish and get the catch successfully. So these are those applications of ocean resources. Now we didn't stop there. We looked at ocean, and I must share with all of you, under a very flagship initiative, that's where the blue economy term is coined, of Government of India, which is called as IORA, which is Indian Ocean Ream Association. So we have a collaboration in terms of multilateral or all the countries who are located on Indian Ocean, not only to collaborate on tourism or in infrastructure, but in maritime exercises and sharing of resources or technology. Another key areas which I'm sure we will discuss is the protection of maritime boundary. Because what we literally know, and we are all aware, that the Red Sea attack factors in Indian economy or in global economy in terms of the crude oil pricing. Now, it really doesn't make any sense to understand the concept of hydrocarbon as part of the economic landscape of any geography, but also protection of such movements. Another piece is the vantage location of India. If we look at the producing countries of hydrocarbon on the east or on the left hand side, that is to the west of India, the entire cargo, whether it is crude oil or it is natural gas, either comes to the third largest energy consumer, that is India, to our coastline, or through our coastline, it goes to the Far East countries. So considering this, Government of India, as part of its energy security, has also created strategic storage of crude oil along the coastline of India. Similarly, you would notice all our hydrocarbon infrastructure, the major refineries with the offshore oil terminals are located on the coast. That gives us a balancing effect. While we import about 86% of crude oil for the consumption in the country, we also export equal quantum of products to the destinations across the globe. Therefore, understanding the ocean, which is so essential from not only the mineral resources in terms of placer deposits or the hydrocarbon deposits that we harness. Now, there is something more interesting which is happening. As part of the net zero initiative, while in India we have committed that we will have a net zero target of 2070, as individual organizations or as Oil India Limited, as I speak, we have our net zero initiative target or carbon offset target of 2040. And as part of it, we must acknowledge that about 50% of oxygen generation happens out of ocean because of the algae or the phytoplanktons, and about 60% of carbon sink the ocean resources provide. Of late, there are a couple of projects are also on the way. And before that, we must also highlight the kind of data acquisition that is happening in the resource space of ocean. As part of the hydrocarbon exploration, Government of India under its National Seismic Program and a program called Anveshak is collecting seismic data, both 2D and 3D data. And from an Oil India perspective, we have two such offshore blocks, one in the east coast of Andaman Nicobar Basin, one in the west coast of Andaman Nicobar Basin. We have already identified three prospective locations, and September 2024, we will start a deep sea drilling there for the purpose of hydrocarbon. We also have a block in Kerala Konkan Basin, another 5,000 square kilometer. So while we are looking at hydrocarbon, we must also acknowledge the pioneering work that is being done at this host of this conference, that is NIOT. I had the privilege to work on the polymetallic nodules of Central Indian Ocean when Ministry of Earth Sciences was Department of Ocean Development. And since then, as the director NIOT highlighted, we have been pursuing our efforts or challenging our scientific temperament to get those polymetallic nodules from a depth of 5,000 meter at Central Indian Ocean. And that too following the UNCLOS guidelines, following the maritime conventions. And I'm aware of the fact that serious research is being pursued through deployment of robots to that depth to harvest those polymetallic nodules. It's not important that we don't have manganese on shore today. We are plentiful of manganese. But unless we start creating a plan B, the future generation will ask us questions. And that's why I am addressing to the students with this kind of a vista of opportunity that is available. In terms of net zero, another dimension is also getting opened up with the resources that is else otherwise was available. Let's say in North Sea, earlier the fields which were producing hydrocarbon are now being considered as the host for sequestration of carbon dioxide. So in the North Sea off the coast of Norway, a consortium of international oil companies are now working on carbon sequestration possibilities in offshore fields. That also calls for serious research and R&D activities, because you have to carry CO2 from the mainland or places where it is getting created or manufactured or emitted through pipelines to those destinations where it will be sequestered. And I'm sure while we will focus on exploration activities in Indian Ocean, while we will continue to study the possibility of harvesting tidal energy or wave energy or offshore wind energy or floating solar, it is a matter of time we would also look at fields where we will create a hub for CO2 sequestration possibilities. Means anything that we can think, we can experiment, and ocean resources is available. And to tell you, having 7,500 kilometer of coastline is a blessing. And India is actually sitting at a vantage location. And as part of our deliberation, when we talk to the global think tank, we say that India is currently the bright spot of the global economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. This time, WOSC has received almost 400 abstracts for posters and oral presentations. 383 have been selected and compiled into WOSC 2024 abstract volume. We now request our chief guest to release the compilation along with the other guests on the dais. Thank you very much. It is, we'd now like to felicitate our dignitaries with a shawl and memento. I request Dr. Raghunathan Rangaswamy, Director in Charge IIT Madras, to felicitate Chief Guest Dr. Ranjit Rath, CMD Oil India. Requesting Dr. G.A. Ramadas, Director NIOT, to felicitate Dr. Raghunathan Rangaswamy. Requesting Dr. G.A. Ramadas to felicitate Dr. Anandvalli, Director, CSIR SERC. Once again, Dr. G.A. Ramdas to felicitate Dr. Satish Shenoy, Vice President, Vibha. Requesting Dr. Satish Shenoy to felicitate Sri Vivekananda Pai, National Secretary of Vibha. Once again, requesting Dr. Satish Shenoy to felicitate Dr. G.A. Ramadas. Thank you all. With this, we are coming to the end of the inaugural program of WOSC 2024. I now request Dr. Vivekanand Pai, an architect by profession and the National Secretary of Vijnana Bharati, to propose the vote of thanks.
Respected President of this inaugural function, Professor Raghunathan Rangaswamy, Director in charge IIT Chennai, Chief Guest Dr. Ranjit Rath, CMD Oil India Limited, and Guest of Honor Dr. Anandavalli, Director CSIR SCRC, um, Director NIOT Dr. G.A. Ramdas, Dr. Satish Chandra Shanai, my colleague in Vigyan Bharati. We have many senior guests in this audience, Dr. A.S. Kiran Kumar, who will be delivering the next plenary lecture. He is here. Then many directors and my colleagues in Vigyan Bharati, Shri Praveen Ramdas, Vivaswanji, and Afghan Shri Prasad, as well as the State Organizing Secretary of Ariviel Sangam, Shri Gopalji, and many senior scientists, Dr. Jayachandran, our delegations from Angola as well as from Bangladesh, and researchers and scientists and leaders of science from across the country. This is actually a very uh, pleasant moment for all of us, because this whole thing's journey started in 2015 at Kochi, the first World Ocean Science Congress. Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies was our partner in that particular program. Our idea started around four main aspects. One is like, today India has around 28 million fishermen. Anything to do with India, the scale is so big. So 28 million fishermen, as per the statistics of the Ministry of Fisheries, which actually happened after our World Ocean Science Congress started. And then we can imagine the families that are connected to it, the vendors, and so many other people. So that's a huge population, much bigger than the population of many of the countries in the world. Then, as Dr. Ramdas mentioned, we have a huge exclusive economic zone. I think it is around 2.02 million square kilometers. The coastal continental shelf itself is around 0.58 square kilometers. And all the resources in that, as very beautifully mentioned by Dr. Ranjit Rath, one of the main things when we started off the first World Ocean Science Congress was that fisheries, because it is happening in Kochi and so many fisheries organizations were there. So a important focus of that was fisheries. But there are all the resources. So the people, the resources, then there is a huge uh, former Chief of Navy Staff, Karambir Singh. He inaugurated our second World Ocean Science Congress. And he started by showing us a map of India, which was turned 180 degrees. And he said, we have been mentioning about 7,500 kilometers of coastal length. But actually, the Ministry of Fisheries, the latest statistics, they are saying 8,118. uh, Dr. Debesh Lahiri of National Maritime Foundation, who is here. So he told me that the latest, according to the latest figures, it will be almost double that, because we had approximated at many places. So such a huge length. But actually, when we look at the map of India turning around, we actually have that map in put in on one of our exhibitions on the maritime history of India on the floor below. We can see that India is a maritime nation. So it has its advantages, as very well mentioned about all the shipping routes, a majority of it passing through our oceans. And by the way, we are the only country in the world with a ocean named after it. And also, so many of the invasions happen through that. So there is the third one, that is the security aspect. So people, resources, security, uh, all these aspects we had considered. And the technology aspect, the need for technology which is present, which will be required in the future. We did the first one with NPOL. They had done so much of work on sonars. So that was the vision with which it started. It gained momentum in 2019 at the Visakhapatnam, the second World Ocean Science Congress. And now, with the help of uh, huge support from NIOT and Ministry of Earth Science, we are here. And as already mentioned, we are discussing on different aspects of this, like including tourism and all that has been part of this conference and in the coming days. So this is where we are standing, and this has been the United Nations Decade of sciences for ocean science for sustainable development. So it is also, we have also been endorsed by that. We are grateful to the agencies for that, and especially Balakrishnan Nair, who took all the effort to from INCOIS to get that endorsement. So oceans is now a huge priority. At the same time, there is the challenge that even despite being a maritime nation, the awareness and the capabilities of our common man, the civil society, and their envisioning of this challenge and opportunities is very, very minimal. So that is where our this World Ocean Science Congress becomes important. And I am glad that there are so many dignitaries who have accepted our invitation. Actually, today Dr. Ranjitra talked about the fuel cells and renewable energy. Madhu S. Nair, Chairman, Managing Director, Cochin Shipyard, was to be here, but our Prime Minister is inaugurating remotely the first H2 fuel cell vehicle made by them. So that is why he could not come. So we are getting into the renewable part of it uh, as well. All these developments are happening. We are on the cusp of an opportunity, and let us hope that this conference will give direction to that particular thing. uh, so I am here to thank everyone. uh, the president of this program, Professor Ranganathan Rangaswamy, director in charge, IIT Chennai, and this we have got this beautiful venue also for this uh, from the organizers of World Ocean Science Congress. You are also part of it. Anyway, for the sake of formality, I am thanking you from the bottom of my heart and from all the team members of World Ocean Science Congress 2024. Thank you for being here and presiding over this function. Thank you. And our chief guest, Dr. Ranjit Rath, um, such a comprehensive vision of this whole sector he has explained very beautifully in this program. And Oil India Limited has hugely supported the conduct of this program also. We thank Dr. Ranjit Rath, Chief Chairman, Managing Director, Oil India Limited, for his presence and all the support Oil India Limited has support that they have provided for this program. Thank you, Dr. Ranjit Rath. Uh, I had invited, we had invited Dr. Anandavalli for this function, and because of one particular situation, we requested them at her at a very late stage to kindly address the program. But within such a short time, she prepared so deeply and addressed us. Thank you very much, Dr. Anandavalli, for being the guest of honor in this occasion. And Dr. Satish Shenoy, he is our senior colleague in Vigyan Bharati, as well as one of the key pillars of the Third World Ocean Science Congress, and even on the earlier occasions. And uh, thank you, Satish ji. And Dr. J. Ramdas, he has provided wholehearted support. The whole institution of NIOT has been completely with us, and many of them, I don't think they have slept yesterday. We had so many WhatsApp groups, and it was all the time. Even at the middle of the night, we were seeing photographs of how the exhibition hall is ready, and this hall is ready. And thank you, Dr. Ramdas, and also thanks to all the NIOT members who have so deeply worked hard for this program. And uh, as I said, this is a kind of a consortium concept. We have many organizations who have contributed for the success of this program. All the MOES, Ministry of Earth Science organizations, that is apart from NIOT, INCOIS, NSES, then NCCR, CMLRE, NCPOR, IIT-M, all MOES organizations, CMFRI, then NIO, then AICTE, all these organizations have contributed, and we have representatives from all these organizations here. I thank all of them. Then we have representations from across the country presenting here, as mentioned earlier, around 400 papers across 10 themes. Then early career option professionals, ocean summit, then fishermen meet. Some of them are taking place tomorrow. Some of them will be joining us tomorrow for their particular session. So I thank all of them. Then many people, many organizations have supported this in a big way, just like Oil India Limited. We are having support from ISRO, DRDO, and all. Then many exhibitors have come here. I could see some of them from Samhita and other organizations. Uh, Thank you, all the exhibitors, all the sponsors, all the collaborating organizations, all the organizing uh, members. I thank all those who made this event possible. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Before we end the inaugural program, we have some announcements. We request everyone to assemble at D6, that is the floor right below us in the same building, for inauguration of the exhibition by our chief guest, Dr. Ranjit Rath, along with other dignitaries. Following the inauguration, high tea will be served on the same floor. After tea, kindly reassemble here for the plenary lectures. Also, all young and dynamic ocean enthusiasts, please remember the early career ocean professionals, that is ECOP meet, will happen at the mini auditorium from 4 to 5:30 p.m. in the evening today. And a little information to remember regarding the venues. D block is where we are seated. Plenary talks, cultural events, inaugural and valedictory programs will be conducted here. All the other sessions and programs will be held at the E block building that is adjacent to us. And you will need to use the elevator to go down and move to the next building. Um, Once again, thank you one and all. Hope you have a great time at this 3-day event. Kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंह गुजरात चल चल जिकरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे तव जय गाथे जन गण मन जन जय जय हे जय हे China, China, so much to learn.